There are many amazing rides and roller coasters at the Alton Towers resort, most of which are very well kept and looked after very well. To name a few, you've got the likes of Wickerman with Big Bob and the pre-show that both still look just as good as new. Mutiny Bay and Katanga Canyon both still look quite neat. And of course, the likes of Nemesis Reborn, which was obviously a huge upgrade on a very old and dated Nemesis. But some of the other rides there do look a bit old and dated, much like Nemesis used to. So what's next for them? Well, today I'm going to talk all about the coasters, rides, and even just attractions in general at Alton Towers that could really do with some updates. A sparkle, if you want to call it that. Or just a singular lick of paint, and that's it. And a few of these rides I have spoken about before, but there are a few newcomers here too. So be sure to watch till the end so you don't miss anything. Oh, and if you are new around here, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. The Alton Towers Resort is a lovely place of tranquility, history, rides and attractions, and also many hotels and other attractions that aren't even in the theme park itself. And that's where I want to begin, because it works a lot better going sort of in the park and doing the stuff outside first than randomly talking about everything in the theme park and just randomly deciding to hop out of it like. So of course, outside the park we have that long strip of loads of different hotels, which are all quite nice. But there's actually 2 or 3 attractions that are in the hotels or even just outside of them that could really do with some upgrades. The first of which being the Alton Towers Splash Landings water park. Man, I absolutely love this place. I went there again recently and I just loved spending so many hours in there. The slides are all really fun, the lazy rivers, outdoor pools, all of it is absolutely fantastic. Although you'd hope that would be the case for most water parks, so I kind of just stated the obvious. Anyway, on that visit I found it very interesting because if you don't know and you haven't been there, there are a couple different slides outside, and those were really fun when I've done them in the past, but this time they were closed for refurbishment. And that had me thinking, if they're refurbishing the outdoor slides and making them a bit better, what's stopping them from expanding the water park and refurbishing the whole thing? As the theme park grows and the hotels get more busy, they're going to want to bring in Splash Landings Water Park Reborn. But by an expansion, I don't mean building an entire version of Rulantica, because that's way too big, although please do that, I'd love it. I would just love to see an extra major slide or two, just somewhere in that park. It would just be really nice, you know. I mean, looking at a map, it looks like there's no space to expand, but they managed to fit a 14 looping roller coaster in the plot that's probably smaller than some people's gardens, so they can fit 1 or 2 slides in somewhere. But you would think they'd want to increase that capacity of the water park at some point in the future. Fingers crossed. Another upgrade I'd love to see happen, and this one definitely needs it a lot more than the water park does, is for sure the extraordinary golf. Walking around that thing, it looks like it's in disrepair, oh my god. Because much like the water park, I did go into the golf course and have a look around. I didn't just walk in there and just go, wow, look at this place. I did play golf.
I've got this now.
But that golf course, a lot of the holes, if you have done it, are very much based on their old rides and attractions, and some of them that are there now. But that's the thing, a lot of the holes are a nostalgia trip back to previous rides, and a lot of them are so run down, it's unbelievable. There is a few that have been refurbished, like the Rita one, that got redone, sadly, and that one looks really nice, so I think they need to go around every single other one and do the exact same. I mean, heck, when you walk up to the hole, you don't even know what number it is or what the layout of it is because there's no sign anymore. How am I supposed to know what hole I'm on, Alton Towers? They just need to go in, get some paint, refurbish signs, and just completely redo the entire course. Or most of the holes, because some of them are still cool. But talking of refurbishments and flattening certain things and, I don't know, building new stuff, let's now divert our attention and walk into the theme park, shall we? Let me just transport myself to the theme park. Not actually going there, by the way, and this isn't another vlog thing. But theoretically, right now, we are walking towards X Sector, because that is where my first point of discussion starts. Because what has started there is work on the Smiler, because that ride was going to be on this list to have some upgrades and have some updates like paint and blah blah blah, but that's actually happening. Tape was spotted around the Marmalizer on certain parts, which obviously means they're going to paint over the other sections and sort of have that so it's lined up and has straight line edges, and that is so exciting, I can't lie. I did upload a short the other day talking about it, and people call me sad for getting excited over watching paint dry. Maybe I shouldn't be so hyped. But considering that ride needed jet washing and that was done, now it's getting a repaint and we're going to see the Marmalizer look better than ever. More of this please, Alton Towers. Especially in X Sector, because as much as I've talked about this a lot before, there are 2 random plots of land just sat with nothing in them other than some metal van shed things serving food. And that is of course where Submission and Enterprise used to be. We know how much capacity Alton Towers want to have, and 2 flat rides in X Sector would help that a lot. Because right now they've just got a roller coaster that does a lot of loops, one that does 1 drop, and some chicken. I just really hope they add something because it'll give that area so much more life. And that is not me saying I want the Retro Squad again. But you know where else they should give more life? Dark Forest. I think you know what I'm talking about. The next upgrade is get rid of Rita.
It's time to go!
I'm only joking, but I'm also not. But an actual area of discussion that I wanted to talk about, not Rita being removed, although that would be amazing, is actually half the reason I'm making this video. The world of David Walliams. Very much a random theme to have in a park that doesn't really use too much intellectual property. But pretty much that area has been going since technically 2020, because obviously that year some pandemic happened or something, and as much as it was supposed to open that year, it ended up being a year delayed. So they've had it technically for 2020, 21, 22, 23 and 24. That's 5 years. Maybe the IP is almost running out. Surely soon it's time for David Walliams to go.
It's time to keep your head back.
It still pulls some queues, but literally that area is a little carousel which has been there for ages, a temporary fun fair ride again, Gangster Granny, which is a decent dark ride, but it just seems to be very out the way, and the theme is very outdated now. And there is literally a building that used to be used for a 4D cinema, and it is just sat there doing nothing. It needs an upgrade. As I've said before, with Project Horizon being right next to it in the corner and the dungeons being completely updated now too, I wouldn't be surprised if this is next to go. Merge the 3 together and create an entirely new area themed to something. Knowing our luck though, they'll go from David Walliams to something like Roblox or Minecraft, and that'll be the new theme. But I do think the David Walliams area overhaul could be next year's big project for the park, or maybe the year after. It all depends when Project Horizon opens, and that's not even an upgrade, that's just a new ride. I'm not going to talk about that. We'll save that for a future video. But actually, all of this does mean that we're going to lose Raj's bouncy bottom burp. Maybe I take back everything I said. Either way, if we then take the Sky Ride, which is very nearby, all the way over to Forbidden Valley, we're going to discuss a certain ride which you probably know what it already is, Galactica. With the massive upgraded area of Forbidden Valley and seeing the new Phalanx theming just being completely overbearing over everything, especially now with Project Ocean being added as well, I feel like Galactica has never been more out of place. It was out of place next to Nemesis because big alien creature next to fly, but now it is more than ever. It just needs some form of an upgrade in the theming department, or if we're not even talking upgrades, it could get an entire retrack or reprofile or either way, I'm not going to talk about that here because I've spoken about this so many times in other videos. So if you want to go and see a video purely about Galactica and some of the other things that may be happening at the park, click here. And also, leave your thoughts on all of these different upgrade suggestions down below. And subscribe. Goodbye.